What's up, YouTube? Pardon my voice a little bit. I've been a little sick, but you see the title, all right? Chavez Jr. is fighting Canelo Alvarez, all right, in May, Cinco de Mayo weekend, all right, big Mexican holiday. I actually like the fight. Okay, I'm not, I have no objections to it. With all the drama behind the weight thing, Canelo obviously going past middleweight to fight Chavez. I'm not surprised by it because Canelo at this point could do whatever he wants. He's been doing whatever he wants, and it doesn't even bother me at this point. He can make 154 still, and he can fight beyond 160. So if Canelo doesn't fight anyone, it has nothing to do with the weight. It has to do with whether or not he feels like fighting them. So all the things about Triple G, going past 160s, claiming that he's not a middleweight, claiming that he can't fight at 154 anymore, fights Liam Smith, claiming that he's not a middleweight, doesn't fight Triple G. This video is not really about that, okay? I actually like this fight. I like this fight more than the Liam Smith fight. I like the fight more than the American fight. I like the fight more than the James Kirkland fight. All fights that Canelo has had recently. Alright, so I have no problems with this fight whatsoever. I know some of you are going to have a problem with that. I really don't care. It's a fight that I personally want to see. Okay, even though I think it's ridiculous that Canelo has just jumped up like that. This is a fight that I personally want to see. Alright, Chavez Jr., I like him. I more so like him because of his father. He's one of those guys that, just like Adrian Broner, whatever they do inside or outside of the ring, I still tend to root for them no matter what. No matter how many times these guys pissed me off, they slack off, they, don't prepare for a fight. They do stupid stuff in the ring. I always find myself rooting for guys like Adrian Broner and Chavez Jr. for some reason. I have no idea. Alright? And I will be rooting for Chavez Jr. in this fight. Okay? Not that I hate Canelo or anything. I don't hate Canelo. I actually like Canelo. I think he's a really good fighter. I just like Chavez Jr. better. Alright? So moving on from all of that. As far as the weight, I was talking to one of my brothers today about the fight, whether or not Chavez will make the weight. I think he's going to make it. I think he has plenty of time to make it and be comfortable making it, If this fight was within 8 weeks, I wouldn't be too sure, But this fight is all the way in May. He's going to start training camp in February. And, I like it. I think he'll be able to do it. Cut down in a weight slowly. He doesn't have to rush it. And I think he'll be able to do it. I don't know how much he weighs now, but I think he has plenty of time to make the weight. He better make the weight because he'll be paying $1 million for every pound that he's overweight. I think the agreed upon weight was 164 and a half, all right, or 165. So I think he'll make the weight. If he doesn't, I know he hasn't fought below 168 in a very long time. But I think for this fight and the amount of money that's at hand, and I believe that he'll do it. If he doesn't do it now, when will he ever do it? It's been a long time since he's really had to dedicate himself, but I don't know, I have no reason to really make the argument on why I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to do it because he has plenty of time to do it, and he doesn't want to cough up that much money coming in 2-3 pounds overweight. Not even 1 pound overweight, not even half a pound. If he's half a pound overweight, he's losing $500,000 just like that, So I think that is more, Canelo's demands should be more motivation to get in shape and prepare for this fight, all right? Chavez should have never really fought over 168 to begin with. Okay, I believe the fight was from far. I can't remember what weights he was fighting Brian Vera at. I believe the last time he fought at 160 was against Sergio Martinez, fight that he lost. But he should have never really went over 160 because he was big at the weight. And, I think he lost dedication in his training before he moved up. But still, making the weight sometimes keeps yourself motivated and dedicated to staying in shape and not getting overweight and stuff. Because the dude's a big kid. I think he walks around 180, 190, alright? So, anyway, I think he's going to make the weight. Now, as far as Canelo, alright, moving up, 165. I made a video, it's probably at least over 2, maybe 3 years now, how I thought Canelo would be a great middleweight, alright? I said that because I personally believe that if he were to move up, and at that time that I made that video, I thought that him draining himself to make 154 was slowing him down in the fights. I think all the stamina issues that he had probably had something to do with him trying to make weight at 154, draining himself to do it, okay? He did look drained against Floyd. I know that was below 154. But he looked very strong against Cotto. So I'm not really sure where to go with this, I personally believe that Canelo, and especially if he is to fight Triple G later this year, he should at least try to come into the fight weighing under 160, being that you're used to cutting all the way down to 154, 155. Try to come in weighing 158, 159. We know you can come in at 164, but why come in that heavy if you're not usually weighing that much in every fight? Alright, try to come down some, but be comfortable in doing it. I think those guys are going to do the right thing. Come down to about at least 5. I really don't think they're going to weigh much more over 160. I think they're going to try to be like at the heaviest at 161. I'd be very surprised if Canelo comes in weighing more than 161. All right, but my pick, my guess, I say 157, 158 would be the ideal weight that I think he should come in. And I'd be very surprised if Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. end up coming weighing in 163, 164, all right? That's what he should really shoot for. He shouldn't even play around with that, just making a weight by the exact pound, because dude hasn't fought in that low in weight in a long time. Why take the risk, especially if you lose so much money in that, all right? It's under contract. So, I mean, as far as the fight itself, there's some key points I want to say. I think Canelo is by far the superior boxer. All right, I think he's by far the superior boxer. As far as his punching power, though, I don't know how much of that is going to affect Chavez Jr. All right, Chavez Jr. is a far bigger opponent he's bigger than Canelo, naturally bigger than Canelo. He's fought at bigger weights. He's fought bigger opponents. All right, he's been in wars with bigger punchers. Will Canelo power be as much as a factor as it been compared to like the guys Canelo fought at 154? I don't really think so. Okay, I'm not saying that it's gonna be light work for Chavez Jr., but what I'm saying is being in the fights with guys like Rubio, Fafara, 2 fights with Vera, 2 controversial fights with Vera, Sergio Martinez, Andy Lee landed some good shots. Those kind of fights I really know if Canelo's power is gonna have that much of an effect as it would if he fought somebody else at 154. I don't think so. But we all know that Canelo's a fairly precise puncher, good counter puncher, good outside game, good inside game, very good inside game. He can definitely, I think as far as skills are concerned, I definitely would rate Canelo as Chavez Jr.'s best boxer, overall boxer. But he's a lot smaller than the guys that Chavez Jr. has fought. I mean, Canelo has technically haven't even fought at 160. The only time he fought at 160 is with the catchweight with Miguel Cotto, which was like a 155 catchweight or whatever. All right, so weight does play a like I don't usually like just discussing weight so much, but in this here fight you have to bring it up because we're fighting two guys, a guy that was fighting above 170 in a recent fight, and then you got a guy that was fighting at 154 most of his career. You have to bring it up. You have to bring up weight. But as far as skill set, I believe that Canelo is a more skilled boxer. And he should win. Canelo should win. I said I'm rooting for Chavez, but I think Canelo should win this fight. Probably will win this fight. All right. What I think Chavez needs to do in this fight here, he's gonna have to bring it back to like the fight he fought against Andy Lee. One of the better performances that I've seen, probably the last good performance I've seen from Chavez Jr. out of the fights that I've seen. I say that fight because in that fight he fought a tall, rangy fighter, a guy that was, using his length, using his jab, moving well. And Chavez, all he did was find a way to get on the inside, throw combinations to the body. All right, he was really bothering Lee, and then he started, once Lee slowed down on his feet, because most of his defense is due to his feet. You can counter Lee all day, and Lee is not the most. He's kind of chinny. I think Chavez slowed him down with the body shots in that fight. And then once he started pressing him against the ropes, that's when Chavez was able to go to work. Won't be so simple against Canelo. Canelo was a far better, far superior inside fighter than Andy Lee was. But again, Canelo is a smaller fighter. All right, Canelo is smaller. Canelo is not as mobile as Andy Lee. Okay. I just think Chavez has to go back to that old gritty Chavez where he was just getting on the inside and try to beat you up. A lot of his career he used his size as his advantage, and that's what he has to do in this fight. He could fight fairly decent on the outside, but he's no match for Canelo on the outside. He needs to really get on the inside and try to beat him up from there. That's the only way I see him wearing Canelo down, going to his body. He's good at doing that. Chavez needs to do that. It's just that he has to be careful because Canelo's good fighting on the inside as well. All right, very good. We gotta watch those uppercuts. And Canelo has solid defense too, even on his inside game. So I think that's the only way I could see Chavez winning the fight here. I think everything is kind of against him except his size. The only way he could beat, he basically needs to do the Canelo what Angulo was supposed to do. Like, for the people that, like myself, thought Angulo was a dangerous opponent for Canelo at that time, because we saw what Angulo had did to Lara, and we thought Angulo was going to be a threat, we thought Angulo was going to do what like Antonio Margarito usually does, and we didn't really see that in the fight. Angulo kind of fell off. He never was the same after the Lara fight. But Chavez needs to do that. He needs to bring that back. And I think this is his last real big shot, That Fafara performance was a terrible performance. I thought both of the Brian Rera fights, he did a little better in the rematch. I thought Brian Rera definitely won the first fight, but Brian Vera shouldn't even be in that league to beat somebody like Chavez Jr. You know, he's not even there. You know, but you might make the argument that I'm overrated Chavez Jr. So, you know, but I'm just trying to throw all the points out there. You know, the main thing is a weight thing, you know. And if Chavez Jr. still, with all the time that he has, still comes in overweight, you know, at the weigh-in, it really depends on a lot of, you know, a lot of things I'm saying now. It really depends on what happens at that weigh-in, you know. And I'll probably be doing the actual prediction video, you know, a last final one the night before the fight, because I want to see how they look in that weigh-in. You know, is Canelo gonna look muscular? You know, is he still gonna look very fit fighting at whatever weight he comes in? You know, is it gonna be below 160? Is it gonna be above 160? How strong is he gonna look? You know, I think he's gonna look strong. I've never seen him slack off, so I think he's gonna be prepared. How is Chavez Jr. gonna look at that weigh-in? You know, and if he does make the weight, if he does manage to make it, whether it's at 163, 164, is he gonna be, you know, his face, is it gonna be sunken in? You know, is he gonna look sick up there? You know, is he gonna pass out up there? We don't know. You know, is he gonna look like Canelo did when he fought Floyd? You know, how is he gonna look? You know, so I think we'll really know by then if this is, and I think it has a lot of potential to be a good match. I think it has potential, but Chavez Jr., and I'm gonna end it with this: Chavez Jr. has to be at his best, his absolutely best, to even pose a threat against Chavez Jr. You know, and he still might lose, but at least he'll give us a good fight. He still might lose, because at the end of the day, if it is a tough, close, competitive fight, I think the judges is going to go to Canelo. You know, I think that's Canelo got that. Canelo has the judges. You know, some of you might get pissed off that I said that, but listen, if he could fight Floyd like that and still get a judge to say that it was a draw, we already know that Canelo has the judges, all right? You know, he got the Lara fight too, all right? But in this fight here, Chavez would have to be his absolute best in order to beat this guy. All right, he would have to be. No complaining in the ring like he did against Fafara. He just got to grind it out. And I don't know if he still has that anymore, because I haven't seen it in a long time. It's been a long time since I really seen Chavez Jr. at his best. All right, so let me know what y'all think on the weight thing. You know, I think he's gonna make the weight, but you know, let me know what you guys think. All right, and make sure you hit subscribe. Peace.